This is the first part of our wizard wand making tutorial. So as you can see, I have just a plain wooden dowel. We got them from the craft store. You can get lots of different sizes. We decided to go with a slightly bigger one for this one. If you would like, you can also taper the end with a sanding tool and just kind of sand it down so it has more of a point. You can also buy other kinds of dowels or even other kinds of wood rods that have a taper at the point. But what we're going to do to start off is we're going to take our hot glue gun, which should be on a hot temperature right now, and an adult should definitely help you with this if you are not old enough to handle a hot glue gun. And we are going to make the handle part of the wand. So what we do is we take our hot glue gun, and your surface should actually have some kind of protective paper down below it, whether it's a newspaper or some print paper or even like a parchment paper. This is a craft table, so this actually has a special surface on it, so the hot glue gun stuff will not stick to it. But you will definitely want to make sure that your surface has that kind of stuff on it to make sure that the glue doesn't stick. So when you are ready to do that, you will take your hot glue gun and you will very slowly press your trigger and just start to spin your wand so it creates kind of a texture on it. You can go back and forth. It can be unified. It can be all over the place. It really just depends on what you want for the grip of your wand. And I have to put more glue in here. Hold on. No, maybe not. But you do want to take your time and be careful with this part, because obviously you're working with hot glue. You don't want to get a big glob in one area and then have nothing in other areas. And this is actually what makes everyone's wizard wands completely unique, because no one's glue technique and glue placement will be exactly the same as everybody else. Put a little bit more at the top. And take care to not touch the hot glue on the tip of your wand, the handle I should say, while it's drying, just because of the fact that it's really hot. Alright, I'm pretty satisfied with the grip. As you can see, it's got a cool texture. It kind of beads in some areas and is stringy in others. And then it kind of tapers slightly to a point right here. So now that our wand grip has dried completely, it's obviously cold to the touch and you can grip it. We're going to take a moment really quick to take the crystal that was in our kits, and your crystal is going to look different than my crystal, obviously, because they are unique in formation. What we're going to do is we're going to kind of put it to the end of our wand, and we're kind of going to have a little bit of an idea of where we're going to place it. However, we're going to paint this first along with all the other wands, and we're not going to quite do the tip just yet. But when we come back to this part, what we're going to do is we're going to put the crystal on it with either an adult helping or an adult doing. We're going to glue the crystal to the tip of the wand, and then we're going to wire wrap it around. But just keep this crystal in mind so you can know how much glue you need to put at the tip of it after we paint it, and we'll go from there. So I finished all of the wands that I have for our Make and Take craft event, including my wand, and I kind of stuck them in this box that I had left over. I just kind of poked holes up in the top and stuck them down there. As you can see, they all have cool different glue designs on them. And what I want to use today, and you can use something completely different, hand paint them yourselves. I am using this Rust-Oleum hammered paint in silver, which gives it this really cool hammered looking metallic design. And my hope is that the wooden dowels with the glue will actually look like metal, especially since our wire is going to be used for the top. So I won't have all the spray painting on because I'm going to have to put down my recording device, but as you can see, just kind of pull. Yep. There we go. Just kind of spray it, even though it's sunny, and it will get that design. So we'll come back. All right, so it's been a few hours and our paint has completely dried. As you saw in the last video, I used a spray paint because I had to paint multiple wands at one time. But if you have a craft paint, that would work out just fine. And an optional thing would be to go in and paint all these little details in here to give the wand a little bit more depth. But obviously you don't have to do this during this tutorial. You can always go back and do that if you would like. I also recommend sealing your wands when you're completely done painting them, just so they don't chip. So what we're going to do now is we're going to put the crystal onto the tip, and it will look kind of like this. So I'm going to move this a little bit. I'm going to take the top, and I'm going to have to hold it vertical, so I'll come back. But we're going to put the glue, a little bit of glue at the top, not too terribly much. You can see that. That's about good. We just want enough right now to hold it. So I'll put that on there exactly how I wanted it, and I'll hold it up, straight up and down. You can kind of see I'm holding it right there. So the crystal sets into place as the hot glue dries, and try to get it as center as possible, because it will look a little off if your crystal is too off center. And obviously everybody's crystal is different in this take home, so just work with what you have. It's not fully set, but I want to show you now. It's on there. I'm going to put a little bit more glue around the sides and up the crystal a little bit, so it'll give it even more holding power with this glue. try not to get the glue to drip down too much on the painted part, because we're going to need that open for when we begin to wire wrap. I don't know if you can tell, but there's more glue on the side. All right, I'm going to let this dry and I'll be back with the wire wrapping part. All right, so my crystal is set into place now. It's pretty on there. The glue is nice and cool. So what we're gonna do as this almost final step, we're gonna put this wire around the crystal, the base part right here in the crystal, which will kind of make this look prettier and help it stay in place. So I'm going to put a small drop of glue about right here and put my wire on it. Make sure it's not too much glue because you don't want it to come through. You just want a drop enough. So we'll start to set in place. And if you can see, you don't want this part sticking out because the last thing you want to do is get caught on it. So kind of hold it down if you can, if that allows you. It might be easier to bend the wire a little bit before you get started. I realize that I probably should have done that at the beginning. So yeah, bend your wire just a little bit before you get too into it. And then, now that that's set, we'll just start wrapping our wire around it, going in a spiral. You can see I already started a little bit, and I will be back in a few minutes when this is all done. Okay, so as you can see, I took my wire and completely wrapped it around, and my crystal was not fully straight, which was fine. So you can see that there's a little bit of an indent here, which that's fine, just leads to the creativity of the wand. So the last part here is we will take this part that's sticking out and we will glue it down. Just a teeny tiny little drop. And for this part, if you don't want to burn yourself, which I imagine you wouldn't, just kind of push it down on your surface. There might be a little glue sticking out, but you can always clean that up. And there we go. Our wand has been completed. Now, an optional part that I included in the kits and things that you can also do at home if you are doing this from home and getting your own materials is you can get some ribbons and glue some ribbons to the tip. So when you are casting your spells, the ribbons will kind of shake. You can also put glitter all over your wand and make it really sparkly and pretty. As I mentioned earlier, you can darken in these details in the middle. Lots of different things that you can do with your wand. But the most important thing for your wizard wand is to make it your own. So I hope you enjoyed this tutorial, and have fun making your wizard wands. And I hope you'll stick with me now for a story. Hi everyone, so today we're going to go ahead and read Good Night Night for our Wizard Wands story. I looked for a wizard story, but unfortunately, but not so unfortunately, it was checked out at the time. So I think a night story is just fine. And this is by Betsy Lewin. Night said, "Good night, horse." Horse said, "Good night, night." Horse went to sleep. Night went to sleep. Night had a dream. Go and find the golden cookies. Night woke up. He woke up horse. Night climbed on the horse. Clank, clank. Horse trotted. Clop, clop. Night said, "Whoa!" He looked in the hole. No golden cookies. He sat on horse. Clank, clank. Horse trotted. Clop, clop. Night said, "Whoa!" He looked in the bushes. No golden cookies. He climbed on horse. Clank, clank. Horse trotted. Clop, clop. Night said, "Whoa!" He looked in the water. No golden cookies. Night said, "I am sleepy. Let's go home." He climbed on horse. Clank, clank. Horse trotted. Clop, clop. Night said, "I am very sleepy." Horse stopped. Night fell off. Clank, clank. Probably a little bit more than a few clanks if he fell off a horse. Horse said, "Wake up, Night. We are home." Looks like he got an idea. He did. There were cookies in the castle all along. Night said, "Good night, horse." Horse said, "Good night, Night." Horse went to sleep. Night went to sleep. Horse has a dream. Go and find the golden apples. And then they went off on another journey. So for our wizard wands that we made earlier, this is the completed version along with our crystal tip. And I wanted to kind of explain a little bit about why we used a crystal for our particular wands. Crystals are known to have a lot of special powers, especially if you put your power, your energy into them. I have this book myself called the Crystal Handbook. And as you can see, it is a very thick book that has descriptions and explanations of many, many different types of crystals, of gems, and rocks. And today I wanted to read what the clear quartz, which is the kind of crystal that is on our wand, can do for us. Clear quartz is believed to heal and energize the body and anywhere it is directed for contact and healing. It helps with exhaustion, memory, and acts as an amplifier for any other crystal for healing. You can also carry it on you at all times to help with your own energy. And you can also touch it to your hand or your body to help regain some energy back. It is also something that helps with negativity, and it draws from nature and it draws from the light, which can also charge it and give you energy. And that is the lore of the crystal on what it does and its magical properties. So you could say our wand is possibly a healing wand. So maybe we are a type of wizard that uses healing powers to help our knights and our warriors in battle. But of course, you can be any type of wizard or witch or any kind of magic user you want. And you can put any kind of crystal in the tip of your wand, and you can make your wand any way you want. So I hope you enjoyed this tutorial and our story and our explanation about crystals and magic wands. If you liked this, please go to our website at gladl.org, that's gladl.org, and go to our summer reading program page. We still have lots of other great